Hey guys, I'll be representing the People Power Party. We're a conservative party with a long history, and we have experienced politicians who are legal experts, like lawyers, prosecutors, and judges. And we have image as the more rational party among the two main parties. And maybe not anymore because of the martial law, but still. And recently, we actually have a pretty good approval rating despite the martial law, which is surprising. So we have about more than 50% approval rating right now, whereas the Democratic Party is about in the 40s or 30s. So that's a good thing. And I will go on to a little more detail about that. And our weaknesses, we have a lot of weaknesses. First, both our constituents and politicians are getting older. And we have low approval rating among young women, as I said before. And we're losing support of young people after not distancing away from President Yoon. And we're losing support of moderate voters for staying silent about far-right Christians. So we are gaining support from very far-right Christian supporters who are quite aggressive in their opinion, but the leadership is kind of staying silent and not doing anything about it, kind of not drawing any lines with them. So the moderate voters are kind of disappointed in our party. So they're kind of leaving us. And our last but not the least weakness is not nurturing young politicians. So I'm very grateful for CAS for doing this work for us. And we certainly have a lack of diversity. So most of our politicians and MPs are older men who are lawyers or prosecutors or judges in their 50s and 60s, and very few women and very few young women. So I'm very much an oddball, but I try to keep it going. And next on to opportunities. There are a couple of opportunities despite the martial law happening for our party. First, people's disapproval of the other party's candidate, Lee Jae-myung or Lee Jae-min. He may go to jail in March. So if he does, the court will rule in March. And if he does, then we have a better chance in the presidential election. So which will happen in March or April. And absence of our ex-party leader Lee Jun-seok and extreme anti-feminists. So our ex-party leader, ex-PPP leader, his name is Lee Jun-seok, and he was a populist who gained a lot of support from young males who believe in anti-feminism and kind of misogyny, like kind of hating on women. So he drew a lot of their support for presidential election and won, and our president became the president. But now he got kicked out of our party, and he created his own party. So right now we're not attached with those extreme hate women kind of stance. So we're kind of clear of that. So it's time to reinvent our party image as women haters, and I want to kind of change that happening for our party. And another last opportunity for us is the Democratic Party's pro-China, pro-North Korean policy. And our South Korean people have naturally kind of vote against that. So we have a kind of a chance on that. And lastly, as threats, as I mentioned, the rise of far-right supporters and hate toward China. And there's a conspiracy theory right now, voter fraud gaining momentum. So people are saying the last presidential election and last parliamentary election was a fraud. And this kind of a conspiracy theory is kind of gaining support in the conservative circle. And this is kind of making the moderate voters stay away from our party. And lastly, the ruling for President Yoon's impeachment can drastically change our political landscape. So if the Constitutional Court basically says the president will be impeached and should be kicked out of office, then our party will be kind of in turmoil, and who's going to be the party leader and so forth. So that's going to be very interesting or very difficult, for us. So yeah, those are the 4 SWOTs for my party. Thank you for your attention.